I'm tired of being a homeowner. I am tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of people telling me owning a home is the best investment you could ever have.
I borrowed this house from the bank 3 years ago, and I hate it. And some people are asking me why. Why do you hate it? Because I can't afford it.
Homeowners across the country are filled with regret, stuck in homes they hate, with mortgages they can't afford, all because of mistakes they could have avoided. If you're not careful, you could be next. If you've ever wondered about the responsibility that comes with owning a home, pay close attention to this next clip.
Bought a house. Here are 3 things that I don't like about owning my home. Number 1 is maintenance on stupid stuff. One of those is cleaning out my garage. Today I spent my entire Sunday vacuuming up the garage, taking everything out, dusting off the cobwebs. Mice and insects are another thing that I don't like about owning a home. A couple months ago, we were cleaning up the house and I remember seeing these like little grains that I thought were little grains of rice, and I asked my fiance, what is this? Like, what do you think this is from? And he's like, oh my God, that's mouse poop. Every drawer, even where our clothes were, like in the kitchen, everywhere we found mouse poop. I hate mice. I literally hate mice. And I had to disinfect everything that had been touched by poop. Finally, if something breaks, it's my fault. In April of this year, our dishwasher broke. Turns out the motor on the dishwasher went bad, even though we had only bought the house 2 years ago. So then we just ended up calling Samsung. They had to send somebody out here. It really disrupted my work schedule. I had to be home for a couple days while this guy came. He had to come out and inspect it. Then he had to buy the part. It ended up costing us like $350. $350 is a lot of money that it could have set us back if we weren't prepared. Overall, I love my home. But there's definitely some parts about home ownership that nobody talks about online that is still important to know, especially if you're in your 20s, if you're post-grad, and you're thinking about buying a house in the near future.
One thing I want to make very clear, when you buy a home, you are the landlord. That means you're the one who has to schedule the repairs, pay for them, or simply roll your sleeves up and fix it yourself. For example, don't buy a home with a big yard if you hate cutting grass or if you don't want to pay for landscaping. You'll either end up stressed or letting the yard go, and it's going to look really bad. Instead, you may want to consider options like turf or fake grass, or adding pavement if keeping up the yard just is not realistic for you. She also mentioned an infestation, which can be really expensive to treat, especially if it spreads. And I'm hoping that she got that handled quickly because those costs can add up really fast. And I respect her for being honest and getting things done herself. A lot of these responsibilities catch people off guard, especially first-time homebuyers. And she's right. There are a lot of things about homeownership that people don't talk about online. That's why I love doing these videos, because it's important to know what you're really signing up for before you buy a home. Do you think her complaints are valid, or is what she's talking about just what comes with homeownership? Let me know in the comments. Let's get a perspective that we rarely hear. It might even make you rethink how much house to buy.
If you want to regret buying a house and wish that you never did, be house poor. And if y'all don't know what that is, it's when your monthly mortgage payment eats up so much of your budget that you can't afford to do really anything else. I actually have somebody who's going through this right now in their purchase process. If you don't know me, my name is EJ. I'm a mortgage broker in the state of Florida, and I help people buy houses for a living. And one of the first questions that I ask in the pre-approval process is, how much are you comfortable paying a month? And then also, what is the max that you will be willing to pay a month? And this is good because it helps me reverse engineer the pre-approval so I can match kind of the payment to the price. I got this guy right now who wanted his payment to be $2,500 a month, maybe $2,600 max. So I reverse engineered the numbers and got him pre-approved based off of that. But what happens with a lot of people is their eyes are bigger than their pockets. And they think their first home has to be this dream home that checks every single box that they want. But usually that's not the case. Your first home is just to get you in the game, start building some equity so you can later leverage that into getting your dream home. But this dude's realtor took him out shopping, looking at homes, and the homes that he's looking at are $300-400 a month higher than what he originally wanted. So he found this house that he really liked, but the payment is like $3,000 a month. And I ain't gonna speak too much on the realtor's professionalism, but he's kind of pushing this guy towards his house because he knows that it checks every single box for him.
I really appreciate that he's asking clients what they're comfortable paying each month and not just focusing on approving them for as much as possible. That one question can help people avoid ending up house poor. And he's right about the mindset around your first home. A lot of people feel pressure to buy their dream house the first time around, but that's just not realistic or financially smart for most people. Your first home should be one that you can comfortably afford. It doesn't have to be perfect. You might stay there forever or you might upgrade later, but trying to buy everything you want right away can potentially leave you financially stuck. And don't buy a home to impress other people. They're not paying your mortgage, you are. Do you think the client ended up buying this house? Let me know in the comments. This is clearly a crazy situation, but did the client end up buying this affordable home that he's talking about? Let's find out.
So he's looking at me like, hey man, can you make the numbers work for this house? And I'm like, dude, the numbers are what they are. The taxes, the HOA, the insurance, it is what it's going to be. I can only get the interest rate so low before it starts costing this guy more money than it's worth. And this dude's not rich, man. He got like a $20,000 in his 401k. He's got a few $1,000s saved, but he don't have a ton of money to blow on this house. And if you tell me that you want to spend this amount of money per month on your house, but the house you're looking at is way more than that, I'm going to tell you. And I'm not going to push you to get that house because, dude, this ain't what we agreed on. But at the end of the day, people want what they want. He went and got a contract for this house. But this is a classic example that being house poor is a real thing. And yeah, while he might be able to qualify for this house on paper, that don't mean he can really afford it on a month-to-month basis. So luckily, when he got the initial loan paperwork that shows your loan estimate and all the money you're going to spend to get the house and your monthly payment, he kind of took a pause. He called me this morning. And I'm glad he did because, like, dude, we talked about this. This is what I told you. This is what I already showed you. But for some reason, when people get that loan paperwork, it makes it real for them for the first time. So hopefully he wakes up and realizes that, man, this house probably ain't it. We can find you another house. Because once everything's closed and everybody's made their money, that monthly payment is what you're going to have to deal with every month. I'll keep y'all posted if y'all want to know how it goes, but when you're buying a house, there's so many emotions that you go through, but the absolute worst one is regret.
I can appreciate this mortgage broker because he seems to really care about his clients and wants to make sure they're not set up to struggle. Buying a home can be emotional, but you have to learn how to balance that emotion with logic because for many of us, this is the biggest financial decision of our lives. And don't just rely on emotions. Aside from the monthly payment, you want to think about the neighborhood, the size of the home compared to your actual needs, amenities, and nearby schools if you have children. And don't fall in love with a house that's going to stretch your budget too thin. Just because you can buy it doesn't mean you should. I suggest going into your home search knowing the monthly payment that you're comfortable with. If that number doesn't get you what you want where you live, then you might need to consider either your timeline, your location, or your expectations. Do you think this mortgage broker is doing the right thing by looking out for his clients, or should he just let people buy whatever they want? Let me know in the comments. So what happens when your mortgage gets too expensive to manage? Let's find out.
Yesterday was my 3-year anniversary of becoming a home borrower. I borrowed this house from the bank 3 years ago and I hate it. And some people are asking me why. Why do you hate it? Because I can't afford it. I can't afford this house. When I borrowed the house, I could afford it. And the bank insured that. Since then though, when I borrowed this house, my homeowner's insurance was $1,323 a year. Today, 3 years later, my homeowner's insurance is $2,654 a year. That is a little over $100 increase, which is added to my payment. Now, I know a lot of people will say crap like, oh, well, you know, if you buy a house, your mortgage will be cheaper than your rent. Sure, if I were to rent a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, my rent would be a lot more than my principal and interest on this house. However, I'm escrowed, so it doesn't matter because I have to pay principal and interest, my property taxes, and my homeowner's insurance monthly.
Her homeowner's insurance jumped from $1,323 to $2,654 in just 3 years. That's an increase of over 100%, which is wild. I'm curious about what state she's in because there are some areas that have seen massive insurance rate hikes. One thing to remember, your monthly payment can and will change over time. Don't assume that what you start with will stay the same forever. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, the principal and interest stay the same, but property taxes and insurance can and often do go up over time. That's why I recommend several things: shopping around for insurance every year, protesting large property tax increases every time. There's no guarantee that it'll work, but it's worth a try if your costs jump, and it can save you a lot of money over time. Do you think she bought too much house, or is what she's dealing with just the reality of homeownership? Let me know in the comments. If you're not careful with what you can truly afford, your mortgage could quickly become a burden. This next clip shows exactly why that matters.
When I signed up for this house, I signed up to pay $1,800 a month. I'm close to the $2,200 now in 3 years. That's a lot of money. And it's only going to continue to increase. And that's kind of my issue with this right now, because I'm at a point where I'm like, this is actually no different than renting. The only difference is that I don't have a landlord that I can call when my toilet overflows, or, you know, when the basement floods, or whatever happens. I don't have that option, of course. And we all know that going into home ownership. Like, I had the savings for that. It was, you know, I was fully aware of that. But everything is increasing, and we all know that too. Like, everything, the cost of living is increasing, and I can't afford this house. I hate it. But I can't, it's like, I'm probably not going to go back to renting because I invested over $30,000 into living here for upfront costs, not referring to how much I've paid in my mortgage and all that. But
now, I'd be upset too if my mortgage went up $400 a month over time, but it also makes me wonder, did she maybe buy too much house in the first place if an increase like that puts such a strain on her budget? But with that said, I'll give her credit. She's not wrong about the larger issue. The cost of living has gone up all over the country, and a lot of people are feeling that pressure right now. I understand her frustration. It's hard when you feel like you're doing everything right, but you're still falling behind. But it also seems like she's doing her best to hang on, and I hope she can make it work. Do you think she should sell her house, or should she try to stick it out? Let me know in the comments. So she shares one challenge in the next clip that might make you see her situation in a whole new light. Let's take a look. But first, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to get better at real estate investing, you got to follow this channel.
I'm a single mom. Regardless of me being a single mom, I make a decent living. Like, there are people in joint households, two-parent households, who make less than me or make as much as me, and, you know, so it's really not the single mom aspect that I'm referring to in terms of financially. It's more so, it's too much for me to do on top of being a mom and on top of working full-time. Like, we all know what comes with being a single parent. So for me, it's just like, it's too much. Life is lifing though. Like, I don't know, you know, I got sucked into the world of, oh my God, I want to get married, I want to buy a house, I want to do this. It's like, I let society tell me that's what I wanted, but when I got it, I don't want it. And I hate that for me, because it took me a little too long to realize what I actually wanted for my life and not what I thought I wanted for my life, because society makes it seem like we should want certain things. I don't like being a homeowner. I don't like it. And I don't care about, oh, well, when you pay your house off in 30 years. I don't care about that, because the end goal for me is just making sure I have some place to come home to, have a roof over my head.
So in theory, there will always be someone who earns less, or a couple who earns less combined, but that doesn't automatically mean that your mortgage is affordable for you. I don't think there's anything wrong with single parents buying homes if it's financially comfortable, but I do empathize with how much harder it can be without that extra help. Now, I don't know her situation, but objectively, bringing in extra income, even by renting out a room, could help to lighten her load, and in my opinion, it's something worth considering. Never buy a home just to meet some societal expectation. Your home needs to fit your life, not some outside image that someone else made up. Other people's opinions don't pay your mortgage. Overall, I do appreciate her honesty, and I really hope that it works out for her. Do you think she made a mistake buying a house as a single mom? Let me know in the comments. What happens when home ownership becomes so overwhelming that going back to renting feels like the only way out? Let's take a look.
Can I vent to y'all just real quick? I'm tired of being a homeowner. I am tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of people telling me owning a home is the best investment you could ever have. I do believe that to be true. that don't change the fact that I'm tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of the problems that it come with. I'm tired of all the responsibility, you know, hanging on my shoulders. I miss renting. I feel like I had more freedom with renting. Now, I know when you rent, you're paying month to month and all that money is going down the drain. It's not going towards nothing. It's not investing in nothing. I know that. And I don't care. I thought about it so much. Selling my house and going back to live with my mother. Because why not? I don't have kids. I don't have a man. I don't have any drama that I would bring my mama. And I can pay all her bills. Mind you, my mama still live in the projects and income-based housing. She doesn't pay rent anyway. We'll be over there living like kings and queens. Jesus Christ. I feel like the only thing that I would miss owning my home or, you know, moving back with my mom or just whatever is the privacy. I do not like people all the time. I do not like noise, you know. But when you move in with somebody or any sort of living adjustment, then you have to understand what that comes with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just tired.
I'm not going to be too hard on her. It's okay to vent sometimes when you're frustrated. Homeownership has its challenges, but with the proper preparation, most things can be overcome. And I don't agree with the idea that renting is throwing money down the drain. At the end of the day, you're paying for a roof over your head. That's a basic necessity and nothing to be ashamed of. I also don't think she should move back in with her mom, not if she can comfortably afford her mortgage, because to me, that would just seem like a step back. Do you think she should move back in with her mother? Let me know in the comments. You can love being a homeowner one year and question everything the next year. This next clip shows how quickly things can shift.
Not saying that I will go live back with my mama, not saying that I will go back renting, not saying that I'll get a roommate, you know, all those things is an option. I'm just tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of the issues that arise and I look left and I look right and the responsibility is still on you. Like there's just no help. I'm so tired. Owning a home, I don't give a damn. Owning a home is not what it used to be. I used to take pride in owning a home. I want to sell my home bad. Let it be somebody else's problem. And I like my house. Like when I bought it in 2020, it was newly renovated. I bought it during, and I paid pennies for it. And my mortgage is cheap. And I know I shouldn't complain, honey, but I'm still going to complain because it's mine and I got to pay for it and I'm going to do whatever it is I want to do. And I'm just tired of the responsibility, if I can only be honest. I feel like I had less responsibility with renting. Like if I had one problem, I can call the landlord. You know, I'm calling the maintenance man. I'm calling somebody else to fix the problem. I got a problem now. I can call somebody, but then my phone gonna ring because I got to fix it.
She said she used to take pride in owning a home. So I'm wondering what changed. I wonder if she had some unexpected repair that really hit her hard. Owning a home is real work, but there is pride in doing that work. I hope that this is just a temporary moment for her and honestly that she bounces back. Renting definitely comes with a lot less responsibility, and that's something you should really think about before buying a home. That's very real. If she has equity in her home, maybe it does make sense to sell and rent again, but the tough part is she would not be buying again at those 2020 prices. Do you think it's okay to feel like you don't want to be a homeowner anymore and just want to go back to renting? Let me know in the comments. Buying a home means trusting your inspection, but what if something major gets missed? This next clip is a perfect example.
I am regretting buying a house. My fiance and I have not even lived in it for a year, and we had to buy an AC unit already, which is thousands and thousands of dollars. Obviously necessary and worth it, but very unfortunate. We're also trying to plan a wedding, so that was not ideal for the budget. And then we had to add gutters. And then on top of that, we now probably have to replace our water heater. Just can't catch a break. And before anyone comes at me, we did have an inspection. None of it was flagged. So it's been a rough day. It's been a rough couple months.
So I had to replace an HVAC system in a rental property just a few years after buying it because I overlooked the inspector's note that it was near the end of its life. As a new homeowner, I was probably nervous to ask for more information or to really push back. Always make sure you get a thorough inspection and don't be afraid to have your real estate agent ask for repairs before closing. And don't be afraid to walk away from a house if it seems like it could potentially be a money pit. It's really unfortunate that none of her issues were caught by the inspector, and if the water heater and the AC failed that quickly, then clearly something was missed, which is why it's important to make sure your inspector has excellent reviews. You want someone who's meticulous in detail, not someone who's just breezing through and just trying to take a quick look through the property. That is not what you want. So who do you think dropped the ball? Was it the buyer, was it the inspector, or was it both? Let me know in the comments. It's tempting to want to upgrade everything the moment you move into your home, but this next clip might change how you think about that.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice for first-time homebuyers, and one of my regrets, so learn from my mistakes, is to slow down. Most of my first-time homebuyers, myself included, are buying fixer-uppers, right? Like, it's where we live is super expensive. Most of them need a little bit of work, and you want it done so fast. Sit on it for a little while. See what works in the house. See what floors you like. Figure out your style. Make a Pinterest board. I immediately got a new privacy fence. Ordered a custom back door, like new carpet. I wanted, honestly, looking back, I spent way too much money. And then I would make more money and I would still spend it because I wanted to get the house done, and it's still not done. And also, I didn't know my style and what I wanted. So now looking back, I would honestly change a lot of what I did. Even if you have it, don't spend all your money, please. That is one of my biggest regrets, and it doesn't happen overnight. Making a house a home takes time, and I mean, here I am 3 years later, still renovating, obviously. So it's just chill out a little bit. Just chill, feel the house, figure out what you like, save up a little bit of money, and just know that you're gonna get there eventually, but making a house a home does take time.
So I love this advice. A lot of new buyers move in and want to upgrade or furnish everything right away, even when they don't have the money to do it. And what does that lead to? High interest credit cards or buy now, pay later services like Afterpay, which can simply trap you in debt. You don't need to impress anyone. Take your time, get used to the house, and make changes that are actually within your budget. I promise your neighbors are not watching you that closely, and they don't care like you think they do. Is someone ever too young to buy a home? You have to let me know what you think after you watch this next clip.
I'm being so for real when I say this. I'm 22 and I just bought my first house on the 30th. I signed the papers for closing. And is it normal to have buyer's remorse already? I'm not even moved in yet. I moved from my apartment on Wednesday to this house, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's nice. I wanted it. I was so excited for it. And then literally up until I signed, when it was time for me to sign, I was having buyer's remorse. Is that normal? I feel so stressed out. The mortgage is $500 some dollars more than what my rent is at my apartment. I need a new car, and the only reason why I'm moving is because I have a growing family, and this is a 2-bedroom apartment and it's really small. So this house that I bought has a backyard and it's just big, and it'll do for my little growing family. But y'all, I'm already regretting it. Please tell me that that's normal.
First of all, she should be very proud of herself. Buying a home at 22 is a huge accomplishment. And it sounds like she's feeling some sticker shock potentially, especially if her mortgage is going to be $500 more than what she was paying for rent. She may just be overwhelmed with the responsibility that she's going to have, because in a lot of ways, renting is much simpler. And if she didn't buy more than she can afford, then I think she should be just fine once she settles in and all those nerves go away. So buying a home can absolutely change your life, but only if if you're truly ready for the responsibility that comes with it. All the clips we saw today show how fast things can go left if you're not financially prepared or if you're not fully aware of what you're getting into. But it also shows that with the right mindset, homeownership does not have to lead to regret. One way to prepare is by ensuring that you have a household budget. So we'll check out a budget calculator that'll be available in the Keys Within Reach community coming out very soon. So let's take a look. All right, so here's the calculator that's going to be available in the Keys Within Reach community. So you can enter your after-tax income, and if you are in a high cost of living, a mid cost of living, or low cost of living area, and we have it broken up by your needs, your wants, and your savings. None of these are hard and fast rules. These are just guidelines to get you thinking in terms of needs, wants, and savings, whatever makes sense and is feasible for you. So there's some numbers we put in here just to show how it works. So it'll let you know if you might be a little bit over budget or living a little bit outside of your means. You also have an opportunity to enter your wants, and then you have an opportunity to enter your savings as well. And so it's going to calculate the percentages and how much you're putting into each category. And it might spark some ideas and give you some things that you may want to look out for. So the Keys Within Reach community is coming out very, very soon. So definitely stay tuned into the channel so you know exactly when that's going to be available. So take your time and ask the hard questions in the home buying process, and most importantly, buy smart. And if you found this video helpful, I want to hear from you if you haven't commented already, or if you want to leave another comment about any experiences or challenges you may have had in the home buying process or as a homeowner. Now that you know about Homebuyer Remorse, I want you to learn about skyrocketing HOA fees and how to avoid them. Check out this video right here.